Okay, hi everybody.
Hi everybody, I'm Yannick, the CEO founder of Prototypo, and I'm here with Hugo.
I'm a type designer and a graphic designer at Prototypo, and I'm working on the app and creating new content and new typefaces for the app.
So I think we can
can
start.
show you what we're going to do today. So the goal today is to work on this newspaper cover. We'll first focus on the newspaper headline, and then I'll show you quickly how to create different grades for text settings, so for titles and text. So I think we can start with the app like this.
So I'm going to introduce quickly how the application, the interface is. So we can start from 5 font templates designed by our partner, Production Type. We will start maybe with a grotesque one for this webinar, and we will add
so it's question
webinar. We will add a name for this project, and we'll click on Create Family. For this webinar, we will just skip the onboarding because we don't need it. And here we are, you are on the interface of Prototypo. So on the left, you will see that you have several tabs. You have the proportions tab, the stilistics tab, and the serifs one. In the first tab, it's more about optical correction you can do on for example, capital or small caps, but we won't need it for the moment. On the top bar, you have a kind of fildarian in English. It's bread crunch, I think. You can click on My Project to find, obviously, all your projects. This is a project you're currently working. The variation, so you can add some new variation, bold for example, or maybe just save some work. If you want to test something and don't destroy your design, you can click and create regular test 1, test 2, etc. And the individualization mode, but we will see it maybe later, I think.
I will use it for the projects.
Yeah. On the top right, you have some button to switch the views. So obviously you have the canvas with the letter. You can work on details on the letter because you can zoom and make some manual editing. You have the word view on the top to design, obviously, words, and a text view where you can tap some letters and add some real text, some real content to design in real time your typeface.
You can also insert texts such as pangrams or just basic Latin alphabets. And as Yannick said, you can just type your text or copy-paste the text you're working on.
Yeah. I think we can start.
We can start, and during the process I will explain some details for each buttons and really explain what we're doing and how it's possible. So the idea now is to first work with the tabs. So with the sliders we can modify very quickly the shape of the typeface. So the idea is to work that first, and then we can refine the design manually. So since I'm working on a display font, the first thing I want to change is the contrast. So as you can see, I am at the maximum now, but I can also just set a value here, so I want something even more contrasted. So now I'm happy with the contrasts. The idea is to remove the contrast in the round shapes. So maybe first I will just add the serifs like this, so the serif width, and now the serif height. If you have any comments.
If you don't see the serifs when you use the serif width slider, it could be because you don't have any height on this serif. So you have to add some height to see something, just in case.
So now the idea for us is to have something equal. So if I take the n, I want between the verticals and the horizontals something quite similar. So now it's a little bit thinner. So just need to adjust like this, and now I got what I want. So now I have my serifs. I want something a little less thicker. So now this is fine. And I think for now it's what I want to change with the sliders. So
maybe we can precise when you double click on the word view on the letter, it's displayed automatically in the canvas view. It can be very useful to design glyphs.
So if you want to add letters, and then you can click on it, so it's goes very fast. But what you can also do is go to the glyph list at the bottom left, and here you can just pick the letter you want, or like special glyphs or numbers. What you can also do is, if you click here, when you tap a letter, it will appear in real time. So you have 3 different ways of selecting your letters.
And maybe we can add also that when you are looking for a special glyph and you don't know how to type it on the keyboard, you can try the word view with a slash on the name of the glyph. For example, if I try E acute, it will display E acute. And it works with ampersand or the glyph's name, current glyph names.
So now I want to change my contrast here. So you have different ways of doing it. I can move this point and it will move this one as well. But you can also select the skeleton point and set an angle, set a value. So now I know the value of my contrast is 10. So if I change my width and I set 10, now this is exactly 10 units. And same here. So this is fine. Now I just do the same thing here.
You can see here that every nodes are based on skeleton node, skeleton point. That's why when you have a square, it's for the skeleton. And around the skeleton, you will have 2 other points who are related to this skeleton node.
And if you move this point, it moves the other one, so they're linked. So now I'm happy with the O's, O and the Q. I want to change some proportions. So I want really rounded O's. So here I can use the individualization group. So it just applies on the glyphs you select. So here's just rounded letters. So I want my O and my Q. And now when it turns to yellow, you're only applying changes to these letters.
If you display the text view, you can see that the letters you are working on are in black. So if we find or if we add an O or a Q, you will see in black. But since it's very thin, it's difficult to see it, but it could be very useful when you're designing specific letters and want to see in the context of the text.
So now I will just change the width of the letter to have something very circular, like this. So if you click back, you just go back to the basic mode. I also want to change my N. So here, this point will move everything here. So I'm fine with the proportion. I also want to change the A. So same thing, this point will move the right part of the glyph. Like this. Okay. So now I can jump to more details. So I want to refine this shape and have something different to remove this serif. So I can show you now this button where you can add or remove serifs. So you see here this one is in blue, so I can just remove the serif, but I can also just say add a new serif. So you have your serif back. So now I want to remove this one, and I want to do the same thing with the A, the top part of the A. So I just remove it like this. I go back to the manual editing mode, and now I want to move this one like this.
So when you want to move some nodes, you can obviously do it with a mouse, but you can also use a keyboard. If you press Shift during the move, it will apply a 10 unit move. 10 units.
Right. So if you just press one, it's 1 unit, and otherwise it's 10. So I'm here working 10 units per 10 units like this. And this is now what I want. I just want to change the connection. So if you're lost in the view, you can just double click and you will see the
whole glyph.
The whole glyph.
And when you are working on a detail, you can just press the Z on keyboard, and it will zoom out just to have a preview. And if you release the kit, you come back to the detail.
Exactly. So now I want to work with the angles. So as I showed you before with the VO, you can set the width, but you can also set the angle of the skeleton node. So here I want 90 degrees. And what you can also do is move your distribution of your points. So you just move it when you press D, and now you're just moving this point in relation to this one.
If you don't know what is distribution when you're designing skeleton font, go have a look at our blog post on the core, the new core of Prototypo, where we explain what is it.
So now I want the connection to be like this, and as you can see now it's too thin here, so I just move this point, and this one will be fixed here till I get the shape I want. So now it's fine for me.
Maybe we can speak about the shortcut to manual editing. When you just want to change the angle, you can press the A key and move the dot, and it will just change the angle and not the width of the stem. If you want to do the contrary and you just want to change the thickness but not the angle, you can press the W and it will keep this angle. It's just the W stands for width and A for angle. If you press D, it could change the distribution, just the distribution.
So you have different ways to make changes manually. So I think we are fine with this letter. I want to change this part, the tail of the Q. So I'm going to do the same thing, just setting the angle, which is a 0 degree angle, and the width. So I want something like this, 140. If I double click, I just go back. And this one, I want the same thing. So 0 and 140. To
display the values panel, you just have to click on the square because it's for the skeleton node. So if you want to change some parameters in the skeleton node, you just click on the square.
And now it's fine for me as well. So the next thing I want to do is move the crossbar of the A. So that's something I can do with the groups as well. So I just click again. So you name it, crossbar. I select my letter, and here with the slider I can move it up. This. So I'm almost there. What I need to change now is this part of the serif. Change the E and T endings, and I want then I will at the end change the U. Sorry. So here I want this to be shorter. So 10 per 10, like this. And I want to add like triangular set endings, but I want them to be slightly longer, so I do the same thing. Now I move this point. So as you can see now, you have bracketed serifs because I haven't changed the parameter in serifs. Here I can edit the roundness of the serif. So if I want something very round, or something without any curve. So that's what I want now.
For each sliders, you have a little picture to help you to know what this slider stands for. If you click on the question mark, you will display a little pop-up, and you can find the right slider.
So it helps you to really find what you're looking for, because it could be tricky. And so now I will do the same thing here. Then move this one. And last this one. Okay, so with the E it's fine. I'm just doing the same thing with the T.
In the future, we will add some features to apply some serif styles, like in design when you make some text styling sheet. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Style sheets.
And it will help from this kind of thing when you design a specific serif not to do this again and again. You just set up a styling.
And then with this, with the components, you will be able to just select the serif and add the style you want. So now I'm fine with the entire set. I just want to change the U, and I want something very squarish. So same thing, it's very easy. I just set the position I want. So in Y I want 0 to be just on the baseline. Now I just need to change the distribution. So this point will be fixed. Then I want to have this one. So it should be, it's now -9, so it should be 0. And same with this one at 0. And now I just change my distribution like this. 0, okay. And then you just move these points which are related to this one. So like this till it's completely straight here. And just this part now. And that's fine for me. So now we worked on the entire letters of the lettering. You can see that we have a lot of white space in between letters, so that's something you can adjust very easily with the spacing slider. So if I want to add spacing, or if I want something tighter as I want now, like this. And when you're done with that, you can also do it manually. If you want to change just one glyph, you can either do it with the groups or manually like this. So now I see my rounded shapes have a lot of white in between, so I can drag this this part and make corrections like this.
And you can do it on the world view or on the Canva. We will add some features very soon to work on kerning as well.
So for the kerning, it's if you want to just work on a pair of letters, such as AT or VA, it will be very, very easy to do. So I just change my A. Okay. Now I'm done with the lettering. I just go into File and I export my typeface. So what you're getting is an OTF file that you can open in every software.
Or even on the website, because it's a classic font format.
I just drag it into my font file for InDesign. And now if I go here, I have my lettering here. So for this first part, we are done. What I want to show you now is how to work on the text typeface. So this will be very quick, but it's just to show how very quickly you can create fonts for text needs without changing so many things in it. So I just create a new project which will be called Spectral Titles. So this one is for the big sizes, so I just keep. And what I want to change with this one,
you have selected
I think
the wrong template.
It's not the good template.
Elsevier instead of Spectral.
Sorry for that. I will just do it again. Spectral titles. Okay. And now we should have the good one. Okay, now it's the spectral. So I don't want to change many things. I want a typeface for something quite elegant. So I want to just add a little bit of contrast, just to show you where we can go, but I don't want to go crazy. It's just like this. I also want to change the spacing to have something tighter that fits newspaper needs, like this. And I can just change a bit with the manual editing the endings. So on the A, like this. I can also make small changes here. On the C. Okay, for me it's pretty fine. So now I have my typeface. If I show you, it applied all the changes I choose on the entire glyph set. So if I just change back my contrast, you see very quickly that it changes everything. So I want something like this. So now I just need to export my typeface, and same, I'm getting the typeface for these titles here. And if I want the one for small sizes text, I just create a new one, still with the spectral. And this one will be spectral text.
What we want to show to us here is that you don't need to make something very different from the basic templates. If you need something to write some text, and one of the templates does a job, you don't need to make something very different. You can just adjust some shapes, add some serif, for maybe make serif for a proportion smaller. It's up to you. You not need to make something big each time.
You can, like, for now, since it's text typeface and it's for newspapers, we want something quite compact with a big X height. So I just change my X height like this slightly. I just add a little bit of thickness. I just remove a bit of contrast, not too much. And I can also adjust my serifs, so I want slightly thicker serifs. And I can also adjust the spacing, so have something a little bit looser to add more white into the shapes. And same, I just export, and I'm getting my new OTF. Now I just drag my fonts. So in few minutes we created 3 different typefaces, one for headlines, one for titles, and one for text. So you see how long it takes to create very quickly your design.
And of course, if you want to go deeper in details, you can also export the font directly in Glypher Studio. Glypher Studio is an open source and free website where you can edit font like a classic font editor. So if you want to go deeper in details, add some nodes, remove some points, you can do it for free in Glypher Studio, right from Prototypo. So it could be very useful when you want to make some typefaces.
And also, if you used to work with other softwares like FontLab Studio or Glyphs or RoboFont, you can open your OTF file and refine the shapes in the software. So the idea is really to work with all the different tools to create something very powerful. So
I think we're done.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. And if you have some questions, please come on the Facebook page to ask questions, or you can even go on our Slack channel. We will add the link to come to say hi in the Slack. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day and see you soon.